From Atlanta to New York City, the hip-hop community's collective gasp can be heard as the unthinkable has finally happened. Officially, the internet has reached its limit. Welcome back to the vault, where we monitor all the shadows and secrets of the industry. Finally, tonight has started to speak from the shadows. For months, we have been watching 50 Cent and the Harris family play a deadly game of cat and mouse. But everyone was unprepared for the total tactical nuclear that just blew up on our time. The headlines are screaming and social media is in a state of pure unadulterated excitement following claims that 50 Cent has finally released the Mooch Vault tape involving King Harris. But the footage isn't the only thing making folks incredulous. King Harris's reported response has caused the planet to go into a tailspin. Numerous sources claim that King Harris made a declaration that left both supporters and detractors completely astonished in a moment of complete despair, or perhaps a defiant act of truth. Rumor has it that King Harris declared, "Yes, I am gay," following the disclosure of the impact of their comments is being referred to as his career's final curtain call. We are talking about a career that was already unstable, but no public relations team can put out the fire that has been ignited by this purported admission in the wake of 50 Cent's harsh exposés. Fans are astonished, and there is a combination of skepticism and intense conjecture on the internet as everyone tries to determine whether this is the end of the Harris dynasty as we know it. Emotions were running high among the Atlanta elite as word spread that the gritty street reputation King Harris had worked so hard to build had apparently crumbled under the weight of 50 Cent's planned strike. Tonight, we examine the alleged video. Because of the alleged confession and the serious consequences from, the world believes that King's career is ruined. Watch out, because it's becoming more than just a rap feud. We are now studying each explosive component of this total devastation of a legacy. The rumors, which started out as a low hum in the dark corners of the internet before exploding into a thundering boom, completely surprised the Harris family. According to a number of news reports that have been circulating this week, 50 Cent ultimately decided to make the vault public. And what was made public was a video that allegedly featured King Harris in an unexpected circumstance. Industry sources claim that the film was shot at a private, upscale event where secrets were common and the air was thick with the smell of expensive cologne and betrayal. Fans were shocked by the stories, which show a young man who looked quite different from the violent rebel we see on Instagram Live. These purported tapes depict King Harris having in-depth private conversations that suggest a lifestyle extremely different from the trap house narratives he regularly portrays in his songs. According to reports, 50 Cent posted a video and wrote, "I told you the truth was messy." Anger within the company reportedly reached a fever pitch. The fallout was immediate, and it was brutal. Reports state that while T was in the middle of a recording session, he halted everything to address the music situation in his home. The Harris family was divided because some members wanted to reject everything, while others felt under pressure from the online community. The evidence was too strong to be disregarded. Emotions were running high when Tiny Harris allegedly confronted King in a violent confrontation that was overheard by several workers at their estate. Tiny was reportedly crying and asking her son why he would put himself in a position where their family's most formidable enemy could exploit him. According to the reports, King kept mute until he allegedly snapped and told his mother that he was tired of living for the sake of a brand he no longer even believed in. This was the impetus behind the most controversial claim of the year. As the tales gained momentum, King Harris decided to take control of the story in the most shocking way possible. According to a number of blogs and social media analysts, King made a remark that stunned the hip-hop industry before quickly taking it down. The comment purportedly claimed, "Yes, I am gay, and if you don't like it, then stay away from me." Millions of people tried to verify whether the post was real or if King's account had been hacked by the Gunnet Camp, and the internet completely collapsed. It is being referred to as a masterclass in reputation damage since 50 Cent's psychological warfare forced King into a situation where he felt he had no choice but to make a confession that would permanently ruin his life. The news reports depict a young man who felt abandoned by the industry that raised him. Supporters are split. Some applaud his purported candor. However, some argue that because hip-hop culture continues to battle with identity and authenticity, King's career is over. The sources claim that several major promoters have already started to remove King's name from upcoming tour dates because they are worried that the disagreement would take center stage in the music and lead to protests or low ticket sales. Atlanta is described as having a melancholy vibe since the local legends who once saw King as the future of the South are now pulling away to protect their own brands. Reports state that T is upset. By the way, 50 Cent has damaged his family's reputation by using his own son as a weapon. The Grand Hustle HQ is reportedly undergoing a total media blackout as tries to formulate a reaction to an unexpected disclosure. The talk between King and T is described as chilly and filled of deep disappointment, as the father attempts to make amends with the son he reared. In light of the current worldwide news, the report claims that King told his father that he was done trying to be a king and that he just wanted to be a human being, even if it meant losing everything. This reported exchange highlights the significant age gap and emotional stakes that are currently tearing the Harris family apart. 50 Cent is reportedly watching the chaos with a somber sense of pleasure, knowing that he has achieved a level of achievement that surpasses both financial accounts and music charts. He reportedly told his co-workers that he didn't really need to do anything because the Harris family was already a house of cards waiting for a little breeze to blow through. There were rumors that the vault had further footage, including audio recordings of King Harris, Allegedly, talking about the specific industry parties and the people he met there. The report's insinuation that these tapes might implicate other well-known celebrities has caused alarm. Throughout the entertainment industry, everyone is looking over their shoulder to see whether they are the next target in the 50 Cent's long game. King Harris has reportedly been seen in public looking exhausted and overwhelmed by the fans and detractors' continual scrutiny, indicating that his psychological harm is starting to show. The accusations state that he feels that music is his only means of escaping the gloom created by the leak and the purported confession that has characterized his new life. The industry is at a crossroads because the line between private truth and public entertainment has entirely disappeared. Reports state that Tiny is the only one trying to keep the family together while T and King are fighting a silent battle of their own. Fans debate the future of the Harris legacy and trade scathing memes on TikTok and Twitter. Some reports claim that King's career is dead because of how he was discovered when he first arrived, not because of who he is. But others believe that this song might be a turning point for the company to truly embrace transparency. On the ground, however, the Harris family's brand is losing value hourly, making matters even more troublesome. The sources claim that some high-end fashion brands that were considering King for upcoming advertisements have officially moved on, citing the current controversy as a major risk factor. As he watches his dreams of becoming a solo star disappear in real time, King's inner torment is reportedly at an all-time high. He reportedly told a close friend that he didn't know the fallout would be that personal or intense. The narrative portrays King Harris as a victim of 50 Cent's lack of street smarts and his own desire for fame. The claims state that the vault footage was edited with a cinematic flair, creating the impression of a thrilling movie scene in every word and every glance. The industry is eagerly expecting 50 Cent's camp's next update, as word began to circulate about part 2 of the clip. The Harris family is reportedly planning a massive legal battle to sue 50 Cent for violating his privacy, but no attorney can ever undo the damage to his reputation. The sources state that the Harris children are caught in the middle of a dispute. They were unaffected by the pressure of their brother's purported confession and their father's purported fury. The Atlanta camp's years of animosity and disdain are thought to have culminated in 50 Cent's psychological warfare. The Atlanta camp says that the leaked recording and the purported statement that "yes, I am gay" will irrevocably damage Harris's reputation for future generations. The company is in total shock as they see the fall of a dynasty in high definition, and the world is currently immobilized as they wait to see what the next chapter of this terrible tale will reveal. Industry insiders claim that King Harris is currently in a state of total psychological collapse. Indicating that the effects of the leaked video have moved from the screen into the real world. Several news outlets monitoring the Atlanta hip-hop scene claim that the purported admission of "yes, I am gay" has left the Big Hustle camp utterly Rumor has it that when Tiny Harris entered a high-level conference with legal experts, she sobbed about how her son's life is being ruined by his father's oldest rival. Tiny allegedly accuses and the industry at large of pressuring her son to the point where he felt compelled to reveal a false identity in order to escape the stress. It is reported that these private discussions produced a depressing dialogue. 50 Cent is allegedly exploiting the situation by posting further enigmatic images that hint at a second segment of the vault material. In this second wave of tape, King Harris is reportedly shown in a much more private environment, when he allegedly discusses his true feelings about the masculine street image he felt forced to project for years. Fans are shocked as these stories circulate, because they show a young man living a double life to honor his father's legacy. The emotional stakes are apparently tragic because, according to news sources, T hasn't spoken to his child since the alleged confession. The tension in the Harris household is reportedly described as a total silence that is louder than any argument. And the internet, he is struggling to reconcile his own principles with the reality of the news. The sources claim that several of King's former street friends in Atlanta have already issued comments distancing themselves from him, claiming that the disclosure has made it impossible for them to continue doing business with him. Sources claim that King's career is over since the same people he was meant to represent abruptly stopped supporting him. 50 Cent's psychological warfare is being called a masterpiece of industrial devastation. Since he did more than just leak a video, he allegedly produced a total identity crisis in the family of his rival. Reports state that King Harris was seen trying to leave the city at a neighboring airport in order to avoid the relentless gaze of the admirers and paparazzi. He seemed exhausted and defeated as he reportedly told a bystander that he just wanted to be himself for once. Bloggers are using reports that 50 Cent has an even more explosive recording in which King Harris allegedly talks about the specific gay parties mentioned in the earlier documentary. Rumors to bolster the idea that King was never comfortable in the world of grand hustle. In addition to acknowledging his own reality, King Harris would be accusing a whole network of individuals in the music industry if these rumors are true. There is a palpable air of fear in the entertainment world, since no one knows who else might be caught on the purported vault tapes. The public seems to be excessively focused on the wars, despite the Harris family's efforts to shift the narrative to assist family and increase awareness of mental health issues. According to insiders, and we watch as the conflicts take our focus away, there is a fierce struggle going on in the comment sections, with some people mocking the Harris family for losing control of their son, and others genuinely concerned about King's well-being. The emotional strain is also affecting the other Harris children, who are reportedly being teased at school and social events as a result of their brother's purported confession. The industry is watching this with a sick curiosity because the reports say this is the first time a legacy has been destroyed in real time by using a personal truth as a weapon. This story is especially tragic since it transforms from a normal rap argument into a struggle for a young man's soul. T.Dewey's mentors are reportedly telling him to show his son support and kindness in public. However, the reports suggest that he is struggling to follow such advice due to his sense of personal betrayal. The Harris empire has become a divided home, with each subsequent construction report complicating an already challenging problem. 50 Cent is reportedly listening to music in his high-rise office while monitoring the interaction stats on his posts. Achieve unprecedented success while knowing that has permanently changed the rules of engagement. He feels he has already succeeded in proving to the world that the Harris family is not the impenetrable dynasty they claim to be, based on his said interaction with his team. According to the reports, King Korea is no longer in power, not because of who he is, but rather because his truth was used as a tool of revenge during a war. He was never prepared for battle. King's official statement is still awaited by the Globe, but the narrative suggests that he has been suppressed by his own fear of the repercussions. Tension is building as the industry prepares for the alleged release of Part 3 of the Vault tape, which is said to include the final and most damaging evidence of the internal Harris family collapse. The sources claim that there is a situation in which supporters are literally holding their breath, checking their feeds every minute to see if the next update will add more upheaval or clarity to a story that has already redefined what it means to be bad. The article claims that the final stage of this industry-shattering story is currently occurring inside the tall walls of the Harris complex, as the family reaches a point of ultimate reckoning. According to multiple insiders who have been following 50 Cent's digital breadcrumbs, the last segment of the Vault film is characterized as a total emotional collapse in which King Harris purportedly breaks down in front of the camera. Rumor has it that in this final recorded moment, King speaks directly to his father, telling him that the weight of the crown was too much for him to pretend to be the person the world needed him to be. The alleged video shocks fans by showing a young man who is driven to the brink by the very legacy he was supposed to inherit. Following the leak, King Harris reportedly sent a private message to his team in which he said that his career was ended, since he was prioritizing his peace of mind over the industry's acceptance. The emotional stakes are at an all-time high, with Tiny Harris purportedly acting as the last line of defense between her husband and her son. Reports state that Tiny angrily told T that since they had already lost their child to the streets, they could not afford to lose him to his own reality. The conversation at these purported family get-togethers is reportedly raw, with years of suppressed animosity suddenly coming to the surface. as the claims gather traction on well-known entertainment websites. The industry is reacting to them with a mix of silence and cynicism. Several well-known Atlanta rappers who once backed the Harris family are reportedly deleting old photos and collaborations because they fear that their alleged admission of homosexuality will damage their own reputations. In a town that is still very traditional, the sources claim that 50 Cent has not only targeted T to achieve a level of total dominance, reputation, but by ruining the future of his family. Insiders claim that because of the psychological warfare, T appears to be in a state of deep contemplation. According to reports, he has been seen by himself in his old neighborhood, unable to comprehend how his life's work became the backdrop for such a devastating and well-publicized revelation. The rumor is that 50 Cent has one final revelation in the vault that allegedly shows how the Harris inner circle reacted when they found out the movie was out. This layer of reporting has caused a continuous feeling of fear in anyone who has ever been associated with the Grand Hustle brand. The Harris family is reportedly considering stepping away from the spotlight entirely for the remainder of the year in order to heal and reconstruct their relationship. However, the claims suggest that 50 Cent is not done because he allegedly implied that the vault goes deeper than anyone knows and that King Harris was just the beginning of a much wider industry exposure. In the hip-hop culture, the discussion has shifted from poking fun of people to acknowledging that nobody is truly safe in the age of digital revenge. The supposed confession of King Harris. It is now considered a cultural milestone that music highlights the cost of fame and the danger of living in the shadow of a legend. Fans are appalled to learn music that King's career has ended. Headlines might be true given that King Harris has reportedly severed all professional music ties and sought refuge away from the Atlanta spotlight. The sources describe his final words to his friends as music full of relief. Despite the fact that his public persona has been totally wrecked, even if it lost him his entire career, he reportedly said that he was now free in music. Rumor has it that T and King's breakup might take years to mend, if it happens at all, suggesting that the emotional conflict inside the music family is far from resolved. The industry is reduced to a disastrous confession and a series of leaks, leaving it in the ashes of music, a dynasty that existed prior to the grandeur of the South. As the press reports became more intense, the world is left wondering if this was 50 Cent's goal all along to demonstrate that he could break. It is the strongest family in the game without firing a single shot. The speculation about what 50 Cent will do with the remaining vault data has the whole entertainment business on edge. The Harris family's greatest enemy continues to write their story. The